trying CBD. CBD is a natural compound found in the hemp plant that has been shown to have a variety of health benefits. CBD can help relax your mind and body, reduce inflammation, and improve sleep. It is also non-addictive and has no known side effects. If you're interested in trying CBD, check out our website at www.hypnotizeme.com. And remember, if you're not hypnotized, then you're not doing it right. That's hypnotizeme.com, www.hypnotizeme.com for our high-quality CBD products and drinks. Hypnotize Me, a sponsor of the Boss Fest podcast.
It seems like everybody want to be a boss these days. Everybody want to be a boss till it's time to pay out, you feel me? Till it's time to pay that boss cost. They ain't trying to have them tough conversations. Ain't trying to put in them extra hours, catching that windfall money, dealing with folks not being consistent. Don't get me started on the lack of sleep, but you know what they say.
Boss Life, BOSSFEST, Boss Fest podcast. Each and every Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, guaranteed to get you right. BOSSFEST, the Boss Fest podcast. They might make you laugh, make you mad, make you cry. Either way it go, it's a vibe. Tune in, catch the topic, get the tea. Ain't no shallow waters over here, we get deep. You sensitive, easy to offend, you need to flee. But them tough conversations gonna be happening. Boss Fest podcast, they hold it down. Wednesday, 7 Eastern, man, it's going down. Tell a friend to tell a friend and y'all gather round. Get active in the comments, don't get lost in the crowd.
Hey, what's happening? It's your man DJ Bush. I had to show love to Kevin and Edwina, Boss Fest Butlers. Y'all know what time it is, the Boss Fest podcast. But you already know what we live in.
Boss Life, BOSSFEST, the Boss Fest podcast. Each and every Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, guaranteed to get you right.
What's up, what's up, what's up? Welcome back to the Boss Fest podcast. How y'all doing today? Listen, we got a good one, but as y'all can see, my background is different today. I am on the road, enjoying on the road activities. So life is
What
great.
are on the road activities?
On the road activities means sleeping in the bed without being disturbed. I can snore as loud as I want to. I can roll over, pull the covers up. I'm eating all the snacks out of the mini fridge I put in there. And I know whatever I put in the fridge is still going to be there. Ain't no kid going to take it. I am doing on the road activities, ma'am. How you doing today, babe?
I'm fine, but I am doing mom activities. And I feel like this is some BS what you're talking about.
I'm out here in the streets and you playing mom.
Right.
Listen, we ain't talking about us today.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well,
listen,
move along, sir, with your on the road activities.
Right. I'm gonna keep enjoying my on the road activities.
Mm-hmm.
But listen, we got a good one today. We got some special guests joining us on the podcast to talk to help us get engaged on this topic here. These individuals are on social media doing big things, creating big waves, big events. You have seen her networking in Polk County, different events and things of that nature. Grant, I've seen him networking, grinding, getting his shine on as well. We're going to bring them to the stage right now. Mr. Grant, Miss Nicole, how y'all doing today?
I'm good. Y'all are cracking me up over there.
Listen,
With the mom activities. I feel you, Edwina. I feel you.
For
You're
real.
doing all of the things on your own. With, yeah. With Kevin.
All
gone.
of the things.
Yeah. Live it up while you can, Kevin.
I do it every other week, so I
okay. That's why that's happened. Okay. You guys are funny.
Listen, y'all. Today's topic is social media tool versus trap. The reason why we came up with this topic is because as we try to branch out into this new world of social media and leveraging it to grow our brands and our business, we're starting to find out more and more things that we can do that's awesome with it. But we also find ourselves falling into these little pit holes. And like, man, how did I even get here? And things of that nature. So we wanted to bring on some people that's definitely helping people navigate through this social media space. So listen, introduce yourselves to everybody so they know what y'all about, so we can jump into this topic.
Okay. Yeah, we're definitely immersed in the world of social media. I'm Nicole Bradham. I run Hot Mod Influencer Agency, and we I co-founded with Grant and the Influencer Academy. So we're educating people to become content creators. So we are immersed in so many ways, and so I'm super excited to talk about this because there's a lot to it. So it's going to be a fun topic. Oh,
You muted, Grant. Okay, let's see.
It's the face that he's making when we can't hear him, though.
Mm-hmm.
he's like,
Still don't hear.
You guys hear me now?
yeah.
There you go.
Sorry about that. I had the wrong mic selected. Yeah, so I apologize about that. So I've been doing website design since 2004. I'm deep into the tech, and then yes, as Nicole said, we came together to help people with Influencer Academy. So I'm excited about this topic because I think it's a hot one, but I think it's super important we get control of. So I'm super excited. Definitely. How we going to kick this off?
So typically what happens is I come up with some crazy behind question, and then we just fall into a pit trap of.
That's what happens. Well, what I want to say is I feel like social media is a trap for me in this relationship that I am in. I just got to kick it off because I am trying to kick off our social media and I want to be influencer-ish. And my husband doesn't want to play along at all. We don't want to do no dances. We don't want to do a TikTok. I can't get a lot. Let me tell y'all the story. Just today, I was like, let's go live and let's talk about our Boss Fest business conference we have coming up. And he played as though the live would not allow me to join the live with him. So he was like, it's just not working. I don't understand. Whenever we go live, it doesn't work for me.
Yeah, buddy. We actually had a similar issue with Facebook. We've had similar issues.
I like how he trying to throw you a bone in.
Yeah, he is, because he just didn't want to get on with you, is what you're saying. Yeah, he wasn't feeling it, and so claiming technical difficulties is an easy one.
Right, he is definitely a person who feels like social media is a trap and tries to do everything he can to avoid social media.
Yeah.
Now, why is that though? You said that before we jumped on the camera. Why do you think that is?
I believe social media is a trap because I see all the good with it, but it seems like you got to put out. Sometimes you got to put out negative stuff for it to gain traction, and then you got to diffuse whatever negative stuff you put out there to try to make yourself seem more human again. Like I just sort of look at different things out there now, and I don't know. I don't necessarily care about going viral, but I want to put out good content out there. I know if I put out something that sounds halfway crazy, it'll get more reaction, more reviews, and things of that nature. Versus me saying, have a great day, everybody. Jesus loves you. That might get one like. Maybe Jesus liked it. I don't know.
But if that's not you, it's not authentic. So of course it's not going to get any like.
That's my girl. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Wow.
You don't go around saying Jesus loves you, like bless you. That's not you.
So Nicole, what do you think about that?
Yeah, like viral content. I'm sorry. Viral content is, I think some people are starting to see it for what it is. A lot of times it's stuff that gets negative attention and it wasn't meant to be that. We have a lot of people who deal with that. And then they grow really fast and sometimes it's not with the right people. But most of the time, to Edwina's point here, if you are yourself, people will follow you because they like your personality, they connect with you somehow, and you guys have got a lot to say and you're doing a lot of good things. So I don't think, unless you overtly came out and said something like political or religious or something silly, that you would end up being, subject to that happening. Plus you can edit your content before you post it. So if you flub up and say something a little crazy, you could just take that out. Yeah. So, I mean,
I think it's also evidence. so I said this before we came on. I don't know if Edwina, you caught this. I think so I've been in technology since the beginning. I was in Bitcoin in 2011. I was doing website design, like I said, back in 2004. Like every chance I get on technology. And what I believe is all technology, including social media, is just a mirror. And so the question is, I think, why do you feel like putting on my psychologist hat? Why do you feel the need to chase the likes and the follows?
Oh
What
my-
does that say about you? You know,
Ooh.
Or anyone.
or anyone.
Yeah.
Or anyone. Yeah. As opposed to letting it be the feedback loop of authenticity, you know, and I like that, because you ever say something, you guys ever go to a party and say something, and as soon as it came out of your mouth, you're like, why did I say that? I don't even
Yeah.
believe that,
Yep.
you know? And social media is kind of like that, because you're like, man, you ever had someone follow you and they were like from the wrong demographic? And by that, I mean something you staunchly disagree with, but they started following.
Mhm.
You're like, what am I representing out here?
Yeah.
These guys are following me, or these gals are following me. So I think I think it's a mirror, but I mean, I don't know. How do y'all think about it? Is it just marketing to everyone else? Is it just marketing to you guys, or how do you use it?
I think that's a good question, because we really are using it more of a marketing tool, and then also as a trap. And I'll use trap differently, because while we're supposed to be marketing, we're caught in a rabbit hole of watching TikTok videos for hours on end, and that's not at all what we were supposed to be doing. And then, like, sometimes I disguise it as research. You know, I'm just looking to see what video we need to look at. And then I'll ask Kevin, I'm like, so what are you doing right now? I'm just, looking at my phone at some business stuff. And he don't watch 32 TikTok videos. So we're really doing nothing. So it's also that type of trap that we are using social media for. So it's twofold.
I can't deny that happens. I am researching, and I really do start out that way. I'm like, okay, I need to find some more hooks. I need to find some more like concepts and ideas to get inspiration for my personal account. And it could take me a while if my algorithm's been changed up, and I'm like chasing this video, and next thing you know, it's been an hour and I've already gone down the rabbit hole, and it's not productive. So in that way, it's definitely a trap. I guess a way around that would be having my own ideas, but I don't think that's trending. So I go back to the wheel and look for that next concept. Sometimes I'm super productive and I have a really good collection. To like what you're saying, Edwina, I would have a collection on Instagram, and I'll save reels, and I'm like, I'm going to come back and make this. I'm going to come back and make this, or like a spin of this. So if that's kind of what you're doing. But there are definitely times where that ends up taking up too much of my time, and I have to be like, okay, and cut myself off. But it happens for sure. Yeah.
So for me, as I'm hearing everybody speak on it, I just find myself like, I don't know if I'm trying too hard on something, but I think it's sometimes, the stuff that you really want people to get to engage with. As you say, y'all are in influence marketing. You have the influencer training and things of that nature. Like, it's like, I just don't know what to really put out there that's going to be impactful. Even though I'm being authentically myself in all ways, the good and the bad. It's like, man, the good me, I want people to pick up on, but they pick up more of the bad me. Like, God dang it, that's also me, so I can't deny that. But why we gotta live there? Let's live in the good me part.
Yeah.
I mean, have either of you been like in music or in ministry or in the arts at all?
No.
So
You want to rap it before, Kevin?
I sung in the choir a long time ago. That was it.
You did sing in the choir with the little pants on.
I mean, and have you ever done like a song, to your point, like, and you totally messed the thing up, you totally botched, it was the worst. I've put art out there that fell flat. I've put poems. I come from a theater background. I got on stage and just absolutely just did horrible. And you get that feedback loop and you learn something, right? And so for me, social media, there is like it's a lot. There's a lot going on, but I use it like I get that same feedback loop. If they're pulling the wrong side of me, and if I don't like that, then that gives me the opportunity to ask myself, or if I get negative feedback, I get the opportunity to ask myself, do I care or do I not care? So for me, and you guys don't know this about me, but I come from a strong personal development background. So I channel everything as a feedback loop to ask myself, do I care, not care? Do I care about this person's opinion or do I not care about this person's opinion? And so do I keep going or do I change? You know, it's a good comment here.
Yeah. And for like, say you guys are marketing Boss Fest. I like what you guys have been doing. You guys have some really great graphics. But like you did, I don't know, Edwina, if you've been doing it, but just taking the B-roll from the event that you've been doing and then having some kind of strong, like entrepreneurial quote over it, or a quote from what somebody said at the event that really was profound and stood out to you. You know, there's a lot of that content to work with until you start feeling comfortable necessarily being in front of the camera, at least for Boss Fest. Like, you do want to have some talking, what we call talking head content, where you just kind of talk to the camera and share a story or some anecdote. But for the most part with Boss Fest, you guys probably have a lot of that content that you can repurpose and use. So I've seen you, it looks like you've been doing that. So I don't know, you look like you've taken it up another level this year. Is that all you? Or who's been doing your social media?
It's all her.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It looks really good.
Yeah,
Well,
man.
Thank you. Actually, Christopher King did some of the graphics for us. He's also one of the speakers for Boss Fest this year. So shout out to him. And then Kevin is supposed to be the person that like cuts the content and gives it to me, but we'll just move on.
I'm doing better. I'm doing better.
There you go.
Kudos.
Are you editing in the Instagram app, Kevin?
See, I don't even use Instagram, and I think that's
what do you use? I was going to ask, what do you use?
Yeah.
So it depends on what content I'm using. So if I take anything from here, because I'm using the StreamYard platform, they got a mechanism in there where it can chop up certain clips and create 1 minute clips and things of that nature. I can attach onto it. If I just have some straight extra B-roll footage, I'm using InShot to chop that up.
Okay.
Possibly trying to add music or something like that to it. Some people told me about Opus clips and things of that nature.
We just heard about that today. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out what is the best way for me to get this content out to people very quickly. So I don't want to sit here and do all this work. I just want to put it into a mechanism. It chops it up, give me some titles, and say, here you go. Post.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but the stuff I've been seeing it hasn't been the right content. So I'm like, man, are we not putting out the right stuff? The things it gravitates to seem to be just some dry information that's given out. And I want something that's more impactful.
Yeah, man. Like it's tough to find that hook. And that's the thing. Like, it's one thing to be a consumer of social media. It's another thing to be a producer, right? A creator versus a consumer. And I think, it's easy to get sucked in, but if you just focused on a high volume of pushing out content, experimenting with different hooks and treat it kind of as experimentation, I think you'll learn a lot. Have you ever tried putting out the same content with a different hook, with a different first sentence? Have you tried much of that?
No, but I'm definitely going to try it now since you mentioned it.
Yeah. What's the course we were looking at, Nicole? We were just looking at this course. Do you remember the name of it?
It was a whole course on hooks and
Just
how to
the
have
intro
either
for
a visual hook in the first 3 seconds or a text hook and they showed us examples of that because we're always, trying to learn with our own businesses, like what's really going to be impactful and what's going to stick and what's going to drive, website traffic or whatever that case is. So the hooks are a big part of that. And by hooks, it's something that catches their attention really quick that might have something to do with the person's demographic or the entrepreneurial. It could be any topic. But like, not so much like the 3 things, like those, the old way used to be like my top 3 picks for, video editing software. I mean, that might still work, but now you're singing even more catchier stuff than that. It has to be even catchier. And I think that's that demand that makes it feel so trappy sometimes and heavy sometimes, because it's like once one thing catches on, once you catch on to something, another new thing comes in, and so it's kind of hard to keep up. You
It's
know,
very hard to keep up.
That's like how what we were learning at the podcast summit, Kevin, where like in the first few seconds of a podcast, someone said something outlandish and it's a hook. And then the clips that you create are just finding those things that were like, wow. So
yeah.
essentially.
Kevin, are you using video, like, or like because like we do a show on Tuesdays and we through Restream, which is very similar, and then it goes to YouTube. We take that link and then it uploads to video, and it automatically cuts clips of the parts of the podcast. Are you doing something similar?
No, I probably need to figure something.
Yes, I was gonna say, if you're trying to deliver stuff to Edwina and she's like, we need to get this stuff up, or you don't need to sit there and manually do it. These like that, like we were talking about Opus, I think that does the same thing. It automatically cuts it up into 15 to 30 second clips of a certain part of a conversation. And then it adds captions. You can even add your logo, and then you just shoot, and then you can even post from there. So it makes it so much easier to get content out after a show.
Yeah. Here's a question on the topic of tools versus trap, though. I'm super curious about, how were y'all marketing before social media?
So marketing before social media, we wasn't really doing any business stuff. So it would always be word of mouth stuff. So once we started our businesses, it was right during the COVID. I think a lot of people tried to find, their inner hustler around that time. I know that was one of those time periods where everybody was looking around, every lockdown. Florida, fortunately for us, we didn't have to stay locked down as long as other people.
Yeah.
But it did wake us up to the fact of me and Edwina both coming in corporate spaces. We work in 12, 13, 14-hour jobs some days.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And while we have a good life, we didn't have the outside of work life. And we were like, we need to find that balance so that way we can get to who we are and spend time with our kids. So, but our very first event that we did for Boss Fest, before we gave it a real name, we did radio ads. We posted dang yard signs like we was politician campaigning out here in the streets.
Yeah, buddy.
I think I might have knocked on some doors like, hey, come to the event. Like, I think, what you here for? You ain't trying to sell me no solar panels? I'm like, no. I just want you to come to my event. That's weird. Okay, but no.
That's bootstrapping.
Hey, it was grassroots grounding. So
yeah.
Figure it out.
What was the most effective thing you did in the early days? What got the most people there?
Honestly, social media, word of mouth, but we wasn't even really doing. When we started something, I think everybody's excited for you when you say, I'm starting this.
Yeah.
So it's new to everybody. So people are like, okay, let me share it. I don't mind resharing something, And since we didn't have any real expectations for it, it was like if people show, they show. If they don't, okay. But we were trying to promote something else. Then once we got the energy from that, I was like, okay, this might be something we can catapult to a different level, which is why we then brought the education piece of it in, because we realized one of our businesses was grant writing. So being a grant writer, I have to look at different aspects of your business. And as I was interacting with people, I discovered that a lot of people didn't even understand. They didn't have their business set up correctly.
Yeah.
Like how are you in business? You've been in business 5, sometimes 10 years, and you don't even have everything together. Like you would think EIN and these things would be very simple things that people would know and have. Like, no, you don't know that. I can't get you no grant.
Right.
It's how long? You putting your money in your personal account? Okay. Oh no, God. Okay. All right. So through that process, everything started to evolve.
Okay. So Kevin, you said you don't use Instagram much. Edwina, do you use Instagram much?
Yeah, I do. I use Instagram. So if someone's communicating with Kevin on Instagram, then I'm playing Kevin's segment. He doesn't know how to get into Instagram.
That's too. What's your handle, Edwina?
So our handle is bossfest_1.
Okay. I have that one. Go ahead.
We have Boss Fest Podcast one, and then
Mhm.
we each have our own social media. Kevin, do you even know what your Instagram is?
Listen, man, my Instagram page, I created that back when Instagram first started. I think I was still like in my hood phase. It may still have my street name on my Instagram. So I
Oh man.
ain't gonna talk about
I mean, but at least you could share. And then we do also have like pages for like the grant writing, and then
Okay.
we have a
Yeah.
hand as well. So all of those pages are, managed by me.
Mm-hmm. So you have all the mom activities and then all the social media monitoring activities.
And before we're done, I'll tell you 15 more activities that I have.
Come on, Nicole. I thought we was on the same team.
So like what's your target demographic? Are they mostly on Instagram, or are they on TikTok more, or Facebook more? Like, where are they at the most?
I'm going to say that we have the biggest following probably on Facebook.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And do you spend a lot of time in the comments there and networking through your page over there on Facebook?
For Boss Fest, we do a better job with doing that because there's a committee of people with Boss Fest. So it's not just necessarily me that have to do that.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily like a lot of commenting we have to do. Like some people may be, great job. And that's like an easier thing to comment.
Sure.
And now there's Manny Chat. So of course, if I need to,
like, I don't even know what you're doing with ManyChat. Like that, I still haven't figured out how to use that for marketing purposes,
Yeah.
Oh, ManyChat. I'm sorry. I was thinking
ManyChat. I was going to say, you know about ManyChat.
I'm so sorry. I was thinking of WhatsApp. Yes, ManyChat. Have you found luck with that? You guys like that?
So I won't necessarily say we found a lot of luck, but I do get to respond to people, instantly. So there's at least that before I go back and look and, give maybe a more personal touch or response.
Yeah.
And so when social media being like a trap, do you just kind of give in? Edwina, you said you spent hours on TikTok. Kevin, do you just give in, or do you have like a mechanism you do to make sure that you don't get sucked in too long?
Listen, I give up quickly. I tap out so fast. I'm the first one to say I'm quit. I don't even got to feel that much pressure.
Does it overstimulate you? Like you get overwhelmed? Like this is too much. Like this is crazy place.
I get distracted.
Yeah.
I don't know what my algorithm picks up from my personal page. When on our business pages, it's more sensible. My personal page, it go from sports to politics
to twerking.
No, I actually don't got a lot of.
Because once you click on one, it's gonna flood.
It's over.
You have to be so careful.
Working, and we have all said it now. It's going to appear because they're listening to us.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, they listen too. I'm like, how did that get in there? I didn't search that.
Literally.
Like, when I was talking about it. Yeah.
But
I'm a huge fan of TikTok though. I like making the crazy videos. And if anyone like follows our Hypnotize Me page, I love the videos that we do on that page.
So you manage that page too.
Yes. See, I told you that we were gonna get
Poor Kevin.
I'm pulling Hypnotize up.
They're more fun.
Don't do it. I don't need you getting banned by accident.
He can follow the page.
I can follow the page.
He can follow the page, but golly.
Hypnotize Me, right?
Hypnotize Me.
Okay. And how's this business do? Like you guys, okay, let's back up. Let's get off of social media for a second.
They have like
what are y'all not doing? Like
I know.
Oh
man, this is a big one.
We're not using social media as a tool.
Not using social media correctly. That's what we're not doing.
Well, you do raise a good question, and Nicole and I have been deliberating on this too. So Nicole and I, we are in merging companies. We've got her business, Hot Mod, my business, Spark Sites. I do website design, video production. We have a third company that's kind of a holding company like Hot Spark, and it's just kind of our own podcast. And now we've got Influencer Academy. And the thing that we're always deliberating is, how do I tie together this messaging so I'm not all over the place? Do you guys ever have that challenge with juggling Hypnotize Me and Boss Fest and personal accounts? Do you guys ever have that discussion, or is this just like
They're all so different though?
Yeah,
are.
so
Yeah.
I try my hardest to keep them. I think about it like our regular like 9 to 5 job. Keep one very far away from the other if possible.
Interesting.
So I don't try to bleed them together because hemp itself, like CBD and that type of thing,
Yeah.
sometimes comes with its own stigma and it's
Oh, yeah.
very hard on social media. So I don't want that to bleed over to what Boss Fest is. Now, as far as like the podcast and Boss Fest, the event, those bleed together constantly and we like that. So we want people to see how we're growing in business and we talk about those conversations and so that people can feel connected to what our journey is and
Yeah.
kind of bleed that together.
Yeah. I find it challenging. Like, you know, that old quote, a man who chases two rabbits catches neither, you know? And so I'm always trying to pull all my stuff together, just for efficiency's sake, you know, because if creating like daily reels or daily TikToks is hard enough, I'm telling you, creating daily stuff for each and every brand is super difficult.
Yeah. I don't know how
So
you-
aside from just making Edwina do everything regarding that,
Oh, we got to show
I'm
Kevin
just giving
some
you a hard
love.
time, Kevin. But I know that feeling because if someone's willing to, you know, you just start loading that person up. What are some strategies y'all have on like covering all the bases of all the entities all the time? I mean, that's a lot. And maybe I should just be asking Edwina, like, how do you tackle that? Because it is a lot. Like, are you posting in every account every day?
No.
Okay. What's your minimum kind of standard for that?
So a lot of the posts are really just driven towards Boss Fest, of course, now with the event coming.
Yeah.
The reason why we don't post and hypnotize me as much is because that actually affects my personal page. So whenever I'm in Facebook jail or social media lockdown, it's because I posted something on Hypnotize Me. And then that keeps me from being able to post what I need to post on Boss Fest. So that's a really tough thing for me.
And what are some of the content pillars? Just thinking about like Boss Fest for a second. It's once a year, right? It's an annual event. How do you, like, aside from just talking about your own event, what are some of the content topics you bring to Boss Fest? Is it the podcast topics that kind of get trickled out?
Yes.
Okay. And is there like a strategy to that, or is it just kind of whatever the topic is, entrepreneurial stuff? Like, is there a content strategy? Just curious about that.
There is a content strategy.
Okay.
So the event happened before the podcast. And what we wanted to do was we wanted to introduce people into entrepreneurship and just kind of get them, you know, understanding how everything we do in normal life can bleed into that. So when we have these topics, it's to get everybody to think about, okay, man, how do I post on social media? How do I not fall into those traps? The last one we did, it was collaboration versus clout chasing. And
yeah, that was good.
It's like how do we interact with each other in different spaces, in different rooms, and it feels authentic and genuine versus it seeing like I'm just there because you may be the hot person in the moment, and I'm just trying to peel off of your energy. So each one of our topics are designed to get entrepreneurs to think about how would they approach this aspect of their life or their business.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. And I'm scrolling through your grid right now. Are you in love with the illusion of success? Man, I like that title. How was that episode?
So it depends on who was commenting and who was giving us energy at that moment. So a lot of people love the illusion of success. They post it very often, like, oh my God, you would think these people are doing so great. And that's what grant writing has showed me. Like, I saw a lot of people from social media.
The real numbers.
Their business. I'm like, oh my God, you got to be doing great business and da-da-da this. I know you got this set up and da-da-da. Then it's like, hey, can you write grants for me? Sure, let me check you out. I'm like, wait a minute.
Start pulling up the layers back, huh?
Like, God, only thing you have is a business name. What else do you have here?
Man.
So it's like, okay.
And that's got to be a great position to be in for the both of you. I know that like my main thing, and Nicole knows this about me, is entrepreneur coaching and working with entrepreneurs with performance. And I see a lot of the same stuff. In fact, Nicole and I won't out this person, but someone just shared with us together recently that they serve top 1%ers with their business. And I won't give it away because they're local and they're a good friend. But they then confessed, and you're like, wow, that's super impressive. But they then confessed they don't have but $500 in their bank account. And it's like,
Yeah.
I get it, you know, like, so I get you're trying to, you know, stick to your guns on how you're marketing yourself, but like,
well, that's what social media does. I mean, people will say to us all the time, you guys are everywhere. You guys are doing so good. And it's not that we're not, but like, I think there's an illusion, whether it's us or any business, that like social media, it's easy to create this second like person that lives in the social sphere that is not necessarily who you are. You know, it's just that front facing person. And so that can also be a trap because you fall in love with these personas of other people thinking they're doing so great. But if you actually looked, they're a lot of times the ones that are suffering or going through their own thing, but you're wasting time idolizing them, you know?
yeah.
So
Nicole, I think that's a huge thing because Kevin and I were talking about that the other day. Like we've recently been getting in some rooms that we felt like before we got in them, like the people in there is doing so much better than us. And we kind of like put them on a pedestal. And then once you like interact with them, you're like, oh, they're very down to earth. They're just like me and doing the same thing or on the same level. And it's all based off your perception of social media. You start feeling like you know this person and you can relate and they're here while you're here. And it's honestly just not the case. It's all the social media trap of, you know, what you're falling in.
Well,
it's powerful.
Oh, go ahead, Nicole.
No, I was just saying it's a powerful tool that we're yielding, creating this persona. We want people to think a certain thing, but at the same time, I mean, it could be a slippery slope. That's all. But go ahead, Grant. I know.
No, I was just going to say, like, there's I think I might be mistaken, but I think it's called the frequency bias. And there's a marketing bias that when we see someone a lot, we immediately start projecting about them, right? We start assuming what their life is all about, to what you're saying there, Edwina. And you know what's interesting is I've begun finding that like Nicole and I had this runaway post, and we posted, I'm a Lakelander. And for some reason,
just in case you didn't understand what he said, it was, I'm a Lakelander, because I don't know if you guys have seen that. What was that? A
meme
parody from? Like a lot of people took it and said, I'm a business coach, or I'm a, God, what was like the really popular one?
Okay.
It was a trend for a little while. So we took the trend and we said, okay, I'm a Lakelander. Okay. Sorry, Grant. Okay.
And so we would say silly things like, I'm a Lakelander. My version of Hills is really old.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I'm a Lakelander. My idea of a good time is jeeping with Judd. You know, I mean, like we were doing silly stuff. For some reason, it took off, right? And we became like micro popular, aka local famous, for like
basically random people came up to us in the gym and said, I know you.
I know you guys.
I just saw you on Instagram.
A different view of this, Edwina. I think the other side of what you're saying is we started getting in rooms as well, but really what I noticed was people then felt that they were getting in the room with us. And we were like, we just had a really popular post. Nothing's changed for us.
Right.
And so it's the other side of the coin where we're like, we're still like hustling business. We're still trying to grow our thing. And then I had the revelation you're talking about, Edwina, where I was like, oh, okay. Because these people I do idolize that I follow, the closer we get to them, the more we realize, yes, their social media presence is 10 times bigger than mine, but their revenue's not. And even if the revenue is significantly larger, their margin, their take home is about the same as mine. And what that did for me, this is why, Kevin, I don't think it's a trap. I think even that trap itself is a tool if we're self-aware, because what it made me realize is, oh, bro, I still have so much work that I got to be doing that no matter how much I could project on here, there's way more business I got to be doing. You know, so I like when I have these revelations, Edwina, like, man, they're not that much further along than me, because it just tells me, oh, I got to keep cruising, son. Like, I got to keep going. So for me, it's convicting. I don't know. Other people can be disappointing, but
Yeah. Both.
I guess
Yeah,
it really
man.
depends on who it is.
Mhm.
But I like to take a moment, like when we come up with that revelation, to say, like, look at where we've come from, because
Mhm.
say the same time last year you wouldn't be in this spot, you wouldn't know to get in this room. And I definitely feel like there's always one person in between the person that you need to meet to go to the next step. So you just keep meeting these other people. So it's like, I got in this room and I talked to this person and this brought me to this. I like to use like Nicole as an example, because we saw her just at our
Junior league.
engagement. Yes, at the Women's Junior League. And I was a member of the league at that time. And I just told Kevin, like, let's go and like hear what people have to say. And he fell in love with everything Nicole was saying. He was like, we got to get Nicole. And then we get Nicole.
I was talking about Google, by the way. I was like, you got to get your business listing up. I think it was my big thing that day.
Yeah, buddy.
Right, but think about that concept. So you was in the room. There was a panel of different women up there. Everybody had something to deliver or give. The majority of the people on that panel talked about themselves and their business. You spoke about how to grow, so how someone can grow their business.
Yeah.
So no, we need her. That's what we want in Boss Fest. Somebody that's teaching something else. So I was like, that's why I instantly fell in love. I said, let me keep this little pamphlet here. I'm circling the cold face on it, so I know.
I'm glad you noticed that, because I was sitting up there like almost cringing a little bit. Like, people are here to learn something, and I am not going to be the one. Like, I know it's good to storytell, and I know that there's part of and places for that. We had such little time, and I just wanted to be effective with it. So I'm glad you appreciate that, because I don't. Sometimes I should probably tell more of my story, but I just do really I care about who's listening, and I have to spew as much as I can to teach whoever is there that night. So I'm glad. But that, Edwina, I think that is that was the time that from that then on, we've been able to be in each other's worlds from that.
One
Right.
person.
Then we were able to get Wix, and then I saw you were able to connect with Wix, and he's been on the podcast. So it's just always like those small connections for me that you
Definitely.
keep going and keep growing, and takes you to the next thing, and you just don't know what that is. So I always tell Kevin, take a second and think about where we are now.
Yeah.
We were in the room where they film Social Proof podcast, and I'm like, he's got millions of followers. But last year we wouldn't have known what this entrepreneur podcast is, and now you're in the same room, talking to you. So it's huge, and you just got to take a second and clap for yourself sometimes.
I'm glad you're saying that. That's so true. We don't always do that.
And that is a trap of social media, not only as a consumer, but as a creator, the temptation to just brag about yourself. And I don't know about y'all, but a lot of the coaching clients, they make it about themselves. And who are we listening to, Nicole, that says, make your client the hero? Who do we listen to? Donald Miller.
Yeah.
Your
and
client.
The story brand.
Your story brand. Go ahead, Nicole.
No, that was it. I mean, yeah, it was make the person the hero, not you, when you're telling a story. But something cool too is, Edwina, you'd like to hear this. OMG is Wix. His name is Josh, right? Is it Josh?
Yep. Josh Robinson. That's my friend. I call him Josh because we on.
I know, man.
Oh my God.
we love that we know him, but and so just the other day, one of my good friends is a reality TV show casting producer.
Yep.
And she reaches out to me and she's like, hey, I know you know OMG, Josh, could you introduce me? I have a casting producer who is looking to put together a show with him and the other dude that he does that YouTube show with.
Oh, awesome. Yes.
Yeah. So if it really comes back, if you backtrack and look at that series of events, I don't know where it's going to go or what's going to happen, but they're super interested in trying to do something to make that actually a reality show on a real, what is it?
I hope that happens.
Streaming channel. Yeah. If anybody can do it, she's worked on The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, she's the real deal. And so if you ever see me post about that, she's always calling me. She's like, do you know any single 40 to 50-year-old successful men. I'm like, everybody's looking for those. I don't know. That's why, hey,
Can
that's
we
why,
find the 1%? Sure, we can.
that's
find
why I
the
reached out to you guys. I was like, well, I think Edwina and Kevin, like they have a pretty big network. And like a lot of the guys, I think that spoke at Boss Fest, I don't know if some of them were single, but you guys just have your hand in a lot of places. That's actually why I reached out to you. That's Sage. That's who I was talking about. She's the casting producer. And now they're looking for some successful 40 or 50. I don't know if you guys were able to connect, but she's the one who's talking
Kevin
to Josh
actually
now.
found some potential people, but when he told me about it, I was like, you don't know any of those. You only know married people, guy.
Yeah. Like most people, like who's in their 40s and 50s and single. And, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure they exist, but you know.
It was like he's not even allowed to know single people. What is he talking about? But after I let that pass, I was like, dang, we do know some people. So
Yeah.
who fit that profile. So we was able to reach out to them.
Good.
And
Yeah,
they
you
seem
never.
very excited. So
That
I'm
is so
hoping
cool.
they reached out and connected because the energy they gave me on the phone, like, what? This is for real? I said, yeah. Send your
Yeah,
information.
man.
Let them know Boss Fest sent you. And
Yeah.
see what with it.
And
Like,
if we
all
end
right,
up seeing them on TV, we're all going to be like, oh my God.
right. Look what happened. Look what, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So what's been the biggest thing you've learned? So you've done Boss Fest now for what, 3 years, 4 years?
This will be
3 years, but this will be the 4th event.
4th event. So like what we're riffing on right now, and Edwina, your point about being in rooms, like these events and being content creators, it opens these doors, right? So like, what are some of the biggest wins you've had that you're most grateful for or super pumped about that you've seen come from Boss Fest?
And listen, I like the way Grant took over this podcast.
I'm sorry.
I don't think he can help himself.
I'm so used to it. I'm not even like phased,
sorry.
but like Grant is a showman. Okay.
No,
like,
I'm curious.
he
I'm
comes around.
natively
You wanna
curious.
MC, you let us know because I'm hiring him out.
Look, we definitely need him. Like we gotta
We
get
need it because I'm learning from. He said, "Dang, that was smooth. I gotta learn that technique."
Yeah.
I'm just curious, man. I want to get to know y'all.
Honestly, so some of the biggest things that I've been able to take away from these events is, it's the number of power connections, linking up with people that I never thought that I'd be able to build connections with, and be able to explore upon that and outside of the events, and like from reaching out to Josh on G Wix for the first time we did it, and it was just on a wing and a prayer. Because we reached out to a bunch of different social media influencers and stuff. You know, most of them blew us off. They didn't have time for us and things of that nature. And if anybody met Wix personally, that man is so humble. He is a real chill, laid back dude. We hit him up. He was like, yeah, man. He was like, yeah, I'll come do it. Like, give me 2 pieces of Publix chicken and some Hawaiian bread.
No.
I didn't need more than that.
Good.
He's like, no, well, give me an apple pie too. I said, bro, for real.
I don't need you to stop making up stuff that he said.
No,
But to get in the room for like one of our first events, and I remember he shopped with everyone. It definitely was a humbling experience. He made sure to visit like all the vendors and show love. But for me, I'll say like one of the things that I sit back. So Kevin's saying connections, and I think connections is huge. Yeah. But I think throughout the process, we forget a lot of times that like we are like a huge part of this. So we try to bring people to like their next coach, their next lesson. But a lot of people get in the room and we forget that because they're watching our journey through, you know, entrepreneurship. And I had somebody at an event come to me and say, like, you got to keep doing Boss Fest. She was almost in tears. And she was like, I didn't think I was going to continue my business, but I met my next business partner in that room. And like through somebody else saying something, it was just a huge like uplift for me. And now like I keep going and I'm thriving. And we forget that because we don't see that part of it. But just for me, I guess the biggest piece of it is knowing like, hey, we are a huge piece. Although we're trying to connect pieces for other people, it's important to remember like the us. And
there was a lot of gratitude in that room. I definitely, that stood out to me. People were standing up and saying, thank you. I've learned so much because of this. I came last year and I've come back this year. And I was only, I was there for just the panel sections, but I witnessed at least 2 to 3 people like outwardly talk about how grateful they were for the event and how it's affected
Yeah.
their lives. So I totally agree with you on that. It's making a difference, and that's huge.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I don't get to see that. Like
Mhm.
when you're behind the scenes and you're putting on the event and you're
Mhm.
doing 15 different ways, you don't see the impact that you have on people. I get to see like this didn't go right and we need to fix this and what about this? And I always tell Kevin he gets to be the show person, waving his hand and kissing babies, and I'm running around like putting out fires. So for someone to tell me after the effect somewhere else, like, hey, this was really good, I love to hear
Yeah.
that because I don't get to see it in the
Yeah.
moment it's happening.
You guys are a
Yeah.
good team. You
Yeah,
and Kevin, you guys are a good team. You balance each other out.
Yeah, man.
It's-
That's
we do our
great.
best.
You do.
So for you guys, I
Mhm.
gotta ask this question because y'all are in the influencer space, y'all are teaching, y'all are coaching. What is the one thing that you try to tell anybody that's coming through your course that they need to do to get their social media engaged?
Mm.
Learning
Mm.
from you,
Go
Grant.
ahead,
I'm learning from you.
Grant, you want to take this one first?
What do you got, Nicole?
No, go ahead.
Me? You want me to
Yeah.
go first?
You go for it.
If you're pandering and just going for the clicks, look for, like Edwina was saying earlier, look for absurdity. There's a few random tips. So this one gal, she was talking about her topic. Let's just say grant writing. It was something very like normal, but I'm not kidding. She was eating from a stick of butter. And people are like, wait, what? Or whatever. I've seen other people do less crazy stuff, but their hands, like, do something with your hands that's unrelated and make people look a second time. Like, are they dipping like a tea bag in coffee? I know it sounds weird, but I mean, I wrote a note earlier is doing the absurd. The other thing, and that's just if you're just trying to go for the clicks, but my goal is authenticity and impact. Like, how do we actually make an impact and be authentic? Well, quite honestly, a lot of authentic stuff is pretty darn boring, and it's normal, right? And so I think experimenting with living out loud but authentically. And so I love social media because as a guy with a theater background, I focused on helping people find their voice, find their message. And like Kevin, I ask questions because I'm natively curious, but like that's led me to help people as a coach find their voice, and like they have to articulate themselves. And so I think, if anything, the number one thing I would say to answer your question, that's a lot long-windedness. The number one thing I'd say is do social media more as a creator. Push out way more content. Struggle through trying to say what you're trying to say, because at some point you'll say it just right. It's like going to 100,000 networking meetings at once and doing it over and over again. Like, I don't know if you noticed, I was looking at some of your views on Instagram and TikTok, and 200-300 views, 200 or 300 views. I didn't get a lot of views. My friends, how many people attended in person at Boss Fest at the last one? Maybe a good number, but what if you could do that? And so you had that many views. I usually tell people, you'll hear a creator say, oh man, I got 1,500 views. It got nothing. It didn't go viral. I said, when was the last time you filled an assembly hall with 1,500 people watching your stuff?
Yeah.
And you can do that every day if you chose to test your pitch, to test your message. I say just do it more until you get totally comfortable practicing your message. So the one tip I'd say is do quantity and quality will come. So I'll pass the mic to Nicole. That's kind of my soapbox right there.
That was
Go
a good
ahead.
one to end on.
Well, you can't just take my thing. Give your own 2 cents,
No,
girl.
okay. So is the question, how do I get more engagement?
Yeah.
Okay. How do I get more engagement? Post every single day and then get into stories every single day and use polls and stickers to get people to interact with your stories. Just taking a reel and then putting into stories and letting it go is not really going to get you much traction. So you really do, if there's any place for talking head or people to get to know who you really are, it's going to be in stories. They're more likely to see it. And then make sure that you use the link sticker. So for like you guys, I'd be like, hey, Boss Fest is coming up. Unlike what I've been doing with when you guys tag me, is I make sure that ticket link is in the story. So all they have to do is click on it and go straight to the website to get the tickets. And so whatever that call to action is, making it as easy as possible, but getting in the stories every day and posting every single day, and just keep experimenting and being okay with it not being perfect. Honestly, it's a hard pill to swallow, but people come on that journey with you and then they feel more endeared to you. And so, but I would say stories is key right now.
Let me throw one other little hack that we have found. Nicole and I have both found this, and I think we got this from Gary Vaynerchuk's book, Day Trading Attention. Whatever your platform is, doesn't matter if it's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever your main platform is, anytime they suggest a new feature, use it, because it's getting pushed up higher in the algorithm because they're testing. So maybe you've seen them add this ability in Instagram to put notes on posts in Instagram. Go do it. Go do your own post on notes. So anytime there's a new feature like that they're trying to push on you, and you're like, I just got used to X, Y, and Z. If the question, Kevin, is how do you get more engagement? Test any of the new features, and you'll get pushed up in the algorithm automatically. Just fun fact. Yeah. Fun fact. Boom.
You'd actually have to use the social media platform, though.
Kevin.
I love how serious your face is.
It was coming. She's been quiet for too long, so I knew it was coming.
Well, what I was gonna say when Nicole was talking is like, see, that's why you got to put on the wig and dance to Sexy Red. But then
No, see, that's the difference. So I don't want to look a fool. I don't mind doing some scenes and act. But I don't want to look too crazy. So I'm
Do you act a fool in your real life?
I don't believe I do. You have to ask my wife.
Yeah. You can't be fake. I mean, fake comes out pretty quick. You know, like people sniff that out pretty quick. So I'm with you. But like, I'm a little sillier in real life. So I keep looking for ways to let that come through my content. But no, I feel you. If you don't want to act a fool, but again, if you're just trying to get engagement, like I've seen people do everything. There's a guy right now, he has like war paint and he's talking about normal things, but he's got war paint right there. And it's like, what is this guy doing? He's just trying to get the engagement. That's it. You know?
That's true.
Puppies always work too. Puppies work. If you can be holding a puppy and then just talking normal.
we should hold the hairy dog in our heart while we talk about Boss Fest.
Pet dog.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you think about Hypnotize Me, so you can't say anything about any of the products, but you need people to be able to check what you're saying and go to the website. Like, how do you do that without saying it? You do something crazy, like you dance to Sexy Red with a wig on.
You keep trying to make me dance to Sexy Red.
Well, I would actually focus on like what you're trying to cure, or not cure, but what you're trying to solve with it. Like, I can't ever sleep. And like, I always have trouble sleeping. And then like, I would be talking about the things that you need it for. Like, what else do you need it for besides sleeping, ailments? Like, I don't know. What do you usually take it for?
Stress relief.
Stress. Okay. Yeah. I'm stressed after a day of work.
To get lit, because that's what people are trying to
Yes.
Well,
Yes. If ads were honest. Yeah.
If ads were honest. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, stuff like that. So like, it's one thing to get engagement. It's another thing to get engagement around a brand that if they got too many eyeballs and could get scrutinized, guns, drugs, whatever the FDA or whatever, alcohol, tobacco, and firearms was regulating that day, you absolutely do want to be careful. So I think humor is a great way to do that, because, I mean, if we're talking about Hypnotize Me, it's a CBD product, and still to this day, you kind of have to have the nudge, wink, wink sort of thing. I'd come up with a silly song. I know this is ridiculous, but like someone going through, having a horrible day, hypnotize me, like, it's like, what? I mean, like, what are we talking?
Are you going to be the influencer for Hypnotize?
I'm gonna find this song.
Right? Like, let's just go and recruit you to start us like sing a song.
Yeah, man.
But that is a great idea because pictures will get flagged quickly. You say anything, like you write any type of word that's similar to any of that, it gets flagged quickly.
Yeah.
But videos and songs, it's hard
Yeah.
to flag that. So maybe I create a catchy little theme. I'm going into the studio.
Be honest, like you like Hypnotize Me more because you can be fun. So you say that you're not silly, but you don't have to be as like business, you know.
Boss Fest, you gotta be serious. You gotta have that bling or at least garner respect. You're right. With Hypnotize Me, you could experiment a lot. And TikTok is really famous for use TikTok to experiment in. You know, just try. Like I'm looking at your grid for Hypnotize Me, and Edwina, it does look like you've done a few different things. I don't know if there's some of these are skits or not, but it does look like you've done a lot of talking head stuff. But I would like, what got this 10,000 views? What got 10,000 views over here?
It was talking about going to the cookout. It was literally him doing
A question for my black folks.
Yeah, it was a cookout conversation.
That's great. Here's something I might do with duets, team. You might find someone complaining about stress or ADHD and have like a sign, like off screen, have like a sign that comes up like Hypnotize Me, like do a duet, just experiment with someone like, you know, a lot of people complain on TikTok. So they're complaining about the dogs barking and having a hard day. And you could just be off to the side with like hippie glasses and Hypnotize Me coming up and just messing with it, especially if it's a viral video. So go use the search function, find the most viral, you know, video that someone's talking about stressing out. A lot of people are duetting this video. You do your own.
The duet function. Okay.
Use the duet function. You do your own. That's Hypnotize. Try it. You know, I mean, stuff like that you can get creative with a red wig, dancing with red.
God dang! I guess I'm putting on this red. You know what? If my big ass put on a
I'd
red
buy
wig,
Hypnotize Me if you did it in a red wig, bro. Come on
listen,
now.
it would definitely get people looking.
and
like,
he's looking on the grid. He about to find a video or something with you in a wig.
Yeah, man.
I definitely think I got him to put a wig on at least once, so it's probably in there.
It's a good sport.
I don't know.
Edwina, what does this reveal about your desires for Kevin to wear a wig? Like, what is it? What is that?
I just really want him to get out of his shell because, like, when we're doing videos, that's our biggest block. Is there's guaranteed to be an argument when we're doing social media because he feels like I'm pushing too much for what, and he doesn't feel comfortable. But I'm like, do something, like, you know, do what's in your comfort zone. And for me, I don't care what it is because it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
But just do something. And we end up arguing, so nothing happens, and it feels like it's on purpose. So I'm like, just go as far left as you can go, put the wig on, and then like get over it.
But you know, I mean, put the wig on. But you know, like this is not. You're not alone in this dilemma, right? A lot of creators, especially creator couples or couples that are just tasked with creating content for their businesses, they face this. And if I had 2 cents, not even as like someone exposed to social media, if I had any contribution to that dialogue, I would say, why does any of your brands have to be either of you? Either go find a mascot or go find somebody else. And maybe, Edwina, it's just because you got so much on your plate, understandably. But if there is a way to, here you go, use influencers. Partner with creators. What's that, Kevin?
So we did that with Hypnotize Me, and we got their pages flagged and banned.
We did.
We did.
Yes. You know.
We did.
But we had some great creators out there and some people who like really rocked with us. It was awesome. But yeah, we tore it out. And influencers are very protective of their social media
Of course.
pages. So it, you know,
but there's got to be cannabis. There's got to be cannabis creators who actually are probably experienced at walking that fine line.
I just didn't know this was so regulated. I feel like I see CBD product advertisement all the time. So
because there's certain people who controls the narrative. Like Joe Rogan might be the only person that can get on there and talk about marijuana with no restrictions or nothing.
Yeah.
Anybody else say the same thing that he's saying?
Okay, I didn't realize
Flag,
that.
ban.
I thought if one person's talking about everybody
No.
could. No. Dang, that's not fair.
It's not fair at all. Well,
No.
we had friends in the same business.
Yeah.
And their stuff was getting flagged and pulled down. We was all facing the same dilemmas. They put marketing on tour buses for people. Like the people say, oh yeah, we can do this, and got their whole tour bus striped and painted up with their brand on it. To all of a sudden come back a couple of weeks later, like, yeah, this ain't a good look for my image. So my people told me I need to take this off of my tour bus. Like, what the hell? They couldn't have told you this before we did all of this.
Yeah. Move with Groove, I think he got his page like restricted for trying to give a review. But yeah, I mean, we could go on.
We got his page flagged. Moves with Grooves. Over, what he got, over 100,000 people on his page. He did something, banned.
Oh man.
This is where you guys would be need to lean on email marketing. Like
Maybe.
somehow, I don't know if you guys are already doing that, but collecting some emails and then every month sending out marketing emails and saying this is a new product or this is what it can cure. Or not, I keep using the word cure. I know you can't use that, but like help. But yeah.
Now I noticed.
Get the podcast.
Sorry, say again, Edwina.
I said Nicole's gonna get the podcast shut down.
Oh, I'm telling you, man.
She keeps saying cure.
I know you're not allowed to say that. For FDA doesn't let you say that for anything.
Yeah, man.
No.
So I'm looking at Hypnotize Me, and I noticed that you use the hashtag Black Girl TikTok quite a bit. Does that get a lot of good response? Like, is that part of your target demographic?
No, I only use hashtags that pop up, so I don't even know that I use that.
I present for your consideration. Coming up with a hashtag strategy that is your target demographic. Like I know Nicole has. I saw that you also used Mom Life at one point. Nicole uses
Me or
Mom
Nicole?
You?
Yeah, which one?
Yours.
She don't even know.
She don't even know.
She said,
You should have hashtag mom activities. That's what
Yeah, there you go. Well, and the paradox here is you might want to look at doing something like that another mom might give you some hate and troll you on because it's a pot or cannabis product. They might give you crap about that and you get that viral video. So who knows? But maybe if we had more time, some other time, we could actually just hop on a call and consult and actually come up with a strategy of just experimentation, because I like the brand. And if it helps fund your other mission, and that's helping people with Boss Fest, then dude, let's get it up and running. So we'll totally tackle that another time. That'd be great.
oh,
Yeah,
it's
man.
done awesome. See, this is why we have these conversations on the podcast. It brings out this type of engagements. Listen, and I hope the people out there who are listening to this can also pick up on this information. We just having the banter back and forth, but we have been able to dive into different topics, different conversations, understanding how we using social media. Do we think it's a tool that's blessing us, or do we think it's a trap that's keeping us locked down and we scrolling for hours? But
Yeah,
either
buddy.
way, I just know that it's because of these type of conversations that we're gonna have to learn to grow and get better with this, because this ain't going away. This is our new future. And from podcasting to social media, like nobody is looking at the regular conventional TV anymore for any information. And I realized that about a few months ago. I knew it was slowly dwindling, but I didn't realize how bad it was when I would go look at regular podcasts, like regular people now. They ain't got no journalism degree or nothing,
Right.
but they're getting more engagement on talking about current events versus someone that's on a mainstream news network. I'm like, God, Lee, is this where we at now? But I mean, it's a good place, but it's also a scary place, because now it's susceptible to anyone's whim at that moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
man.
much fact checking happening. It's mostly a lot of opinions. And so you have to kind of wade through that and figure out who's speaking the truth or your truth. So
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And thankfully the algorithms adjust with that stuff over time. But to me, the answer is, well, let's pivot from being consumers to creators. And if we can change that paradigm, I get on social media to create instead of consume. I think slowly over time, it will be less and less of a trap and more of a tool, you know?
I'm gonna call myself an influencer now.
Do it.
You should. You
Change
are.
name on this thing while you got grant writer. I'm gonna be influencer. Put my thing on there right now.
You want me to put it on there right now?
Yeah.
That's what I am. I just told you.
The show is about over. I get it for next
I
show.
want to have my title too. I am now Edwina the influencer.
And we know the boss
I like it.
influencer.
I like it. I love it.
Influencer.
Boss fluencer.
We can work with that. See?
Yeah, make up your own term.
We can work with that. That's
Boss
happening.
We're gonna figure out how we spell that to make it look good.
Yeah.
Influencer. We're gonna figure it out.
I'm just saying the conversation is impactful, and I'm gonna be an influencer.
Got it.
Yeah.
So we definitely, like I said, we don't want to keep you guys too much longer, but I do have to ask this one question. I got one more question I definitely got to ask. I don't know if Edwina gonna ask one, but got to ask this one. Has there been a client or has there been someone that came to you about helping them out, but their brand has just been so off the chain, off of anything you would do that y'all just said, no, I don't know if I really want to step with this?
Nicole?
He slid that one over to you quick, huh?
Yeah. There was a couple that had an OnlyFans, and then they had a very similar Instagram that was very provocative. And then they had decided to build a family account, and the other account was still lingering. And so it was really hard to help and work with them, because to pitch brands or to, boost the family account, they really needed to get rid of the other stuff, but they weren't going to.
They wouldn't get rid of it.
I just kind of step back, because they're great people, but it just wasn't something that I wanted to be wrapped up in case, it wasn't super bad. It was just more provocative than I was comfortable with, I guess. So
I want OnlyFans.
Huh?
You what?
I want an OnlyFans. I'd like to sell feet pics on OnlyFans.
God damn it. I knew she was going to say something about her damn feet.
That's
See,
what
and I got no judgment on any of that. Honestly, it's
more
the fact
business
that,
related. I mean,
it's when
they're
the
great.
person is like, hey, I want to get family paid collabs, but I'm not getting rid of when they don't take our advice.
Yeah.
That's the only moment when it's like, well, no, of course we're not going to work with you because you're not working with us.
Yeah.
But if you'll take the advice, no, Kevin, I actually like the challenge when someone has such a disjointed brand presence and they come to us for help. I love that, because before social media, we were doing this with messaging. We were doing this with websites. Someone comes and says, hey man, I got this business, this thought. I'm not really sure what I'm doing. What do I do? That's literally the challenge we love to solve, because for me, my mission is to help people. My phrase is igniting lives of explosive significance. I want to help people live a fulfilling life. And so that's the normal problem. This is the normal problem. Mm-hmm. Social media is no different. It's just got a few different ways to do it. But Nicole will coach 3 to 5 people a week, and all she's doing is helping them reintegrate their brand.
Yeah.
And so the real answer is no, not unless they're just not willing to take advice.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a good question though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, buddy.
So I know we come to the conclusion of this. How can people reach you? How can they become a part of the Influencer Academy? If people that's listening to this, they want to grow their brand and presence, how do they get in contact with you guys?
Go, girl.
I love how me and Grant are always like, which one?
You're the boss.
Okay, if you want to learn how to be an influencer, if you're already influencing and you want to take it to the next level and get your bio right, get your grid right, go to the influenceracademy.com. We have a course, but more importantly, we have a whole community of content creators who are constantly sharing each other's wins, tips. It's just today we had an in-person meeting down at the Joinery. We're there to support each other. So definitely hit up the influenceracademy.com or the Influencer Academy official Instagram page. We're on there all the time. And then also Hot Mod Agency is the influencer agency, and you can always find me there as well.
Boom.
Yep.
So for the coaching, the one-on-one coaching, or if you do one-on-one coaching, is that the same site?
That, yeah, you could go to Hot Mod agencies where you get the one-on-one coaching. The Influencer Academy, what's cool about it is once you sign up, the first month is free, but you also get a free hour coaching with Grant and I, depending on what you need. It might just be that you need to speak with me, or you just need to speak with Grant because he's more messaging and voice. And we'll figure that out for you, but you get a free hour of coaching in that. And so we find is that once we get people on the phone and really understand what they need and where they are in their journey. Like some people have hundreds of thousands of followers, and really what they need from us is business advice. Or then we get with somebody who's like, I'm just getting started and I don't even know what to post. So we get all levels, and that first hour really digs in and figures out what they need. And then we set them on course with tools from there. But if you need more coaching and want more coaching with me or Grant, then we would assess at that point, and then we would figure out what that would look like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then Grant, do you still do websites?
Yes. We still do websites, website design, video production. The website there, just as a sidebar, was sparkmysite.com, but it's all under the media company Nicole and I have. So you can reach her anywhere. You could reach us anywhere, but sparkmysite.com, not to confuse the matter.
There's great website, or we do great websites, but so if you know anybody.
Yeah.
We definitely know some people.
Yeah. If you need a good site, we can be that. Usually about six weeks, but to get your site done. Yep.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for asking, Edwina. Yeah.
Of course. And did you hear him say that he does video?
I heard that.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm trying to.
You don't see
I'm trying to figure out how do I maximize these cell phones.
What?
What are you maximizing?
These cell phones. Listen, I watch a lot of content. I see people with all of these videography equipment and stuff like that. And the stuff that seems like it got the most engagement is somebody with their cell phone doing this a couple of times closer.
Absolutely.
And it's like, man, I got to figure out this cell phone game first.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff we do is on a cell phone. We also do like reel editing training. Like some people just need us to show them how do you edit a reel, how do you use the Instagram app to edit reels. That's what I'm versed in. Grant's been an InShot for a while, and but I mostly do stuff inside of the app. So it just depends on your style and what you're looking for. But we definitely do those kinds of workshops too, because honestly, that's where a lot of people need help. They're like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we have these influencer academy, we have these businesses, but honestly, the in real life, the IRL workshops is stuff that we're firing up again in the fall for this very reason, because some people are like, listen, I don't even want to be a creator necessarily. I just need to know how to use this tool and how to use this app. And so like we've done that in the past, and then we built a bunch of stuff, and we're working on other projects, but we're getting back to real life workshops next, because people just need to know how to use that cell phone, man.
That's huge, because that's actually like what BossFest is focusing on this year as well. Like, just learn to take your business to the next level. You got to be engaged in social media. You got to know how to use the tools and not be afraid of them. And oftentimes business owners are afraid of the tools because you just don't know. So get in the room and let someone teach you, and just stop having fear and go for it.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
That's a good point. Definitely. Yeah. We learned that about websites. Everyone was like, I don't know what to put on a website. So what do you do on social media? Oh, I don't know what to talk about on social media. It's the same problem.
Yeah.
You know? They actually don't know anything about how they want to talk about their business when they talk about their business. And so, I can't wait to see what we do at BossFest together, because that will be super fun to just listen in on how we're teaching people how to use the tools. That'd be great. I'm excited.
Me too.
I'm definitely excited. I know last year in the Cold Drop game, I know we had to bring her back again, because the fact that a lot of people's like, man, where did you find her at? I'm like, man, I found her on accident. So I'm definitely gonna make sure that this isn't an accident when we stumble across her again. But I'm definitely excited for you being on the stage and being on the stage again for BossFest, delivering actual content. The things that y'all talked about today, I know that's going to pour out when you're on that stage, engaging, having these conversations again. So we are thankful. We're definitely grateful. Grant, getting to know you, interact with you. Like, listen, you done dropped so much game just in this little interaction right now. It's got me rethinking the whole thing. I may go find me.
Just know Kevin gonna be in the inbox trying to book a consultation.
But I know it'll be you. I know it'll be you, Edwina, booking it for him. So
understands. And if there's a pause, it's because I had to call him and be like, "What time you said you wanted?"
Bring it. Well, we'll be here for it. We look forward to it, you guys.
Yeah, definitely. This was fun.
Yes,
Thank y'all for joining us on the podcast. Listen, Boss Fest is going down, and it was going down in 32 days, 31 days.
Wow.
Nice.
Who does that?
October 6th. I do it. Let me do it.
Okay,
my
do
damn
you?
self.
Do you? See, October 6th.
October 6th, going downtown for Florida at the Embassy Suites. Listen, if you ain't got your tickets, you definitely want to make sure you go get your tickets. www.boss-fest.com. You're going to see the lovely Nicole on the stage with a slew of other people on the stage delivering actionable items. That's the one thing about Boss Fest that might be slightly different than some of these other events. We try to make sure our guests drop actionable items that you can take and make to better yourself in that moment. And these people have courses. These people have content classes that you can get involved with. Please follow them. Follow Nicole. Follow Grant. Listen, the stuff that they're going to give away on their normal, everyday pages is going to make you want to get into their content classes and their courses. So follow these people. So thank y'all again for joining us on the Boss Fest podcast. We definitely got to do this again. I got to find another great topic to bring y'all on again so we can dive deeper into some stuff. I was definitely
All right.
I almost didn't want to end it, but I know it's late where y'all at. Where I'm at, I'm still got some daylight over here. Y'all dark.
Oh, dang. Yeah, it's dark here.
Awesome.
But thank y'all again for joining us. Until next podcast, we out. Peace.
See you guys.
See you.